Welcome back, everyone. We are now about to start the next session in this event, setting up financial centers of expertise. We have a double session. It's going to be presented by Vera Krylova and Maxim Panteleev from Amway. I'm from the US, so I'm fully familiar with the company because they've been around for decades in the US and they're very well known. And have a unique business model, which is always interesting to see from a financial perspective. And I think I'm be curious to find out from our speakers how this company is doing in the current environment, if the network marketing kind of approach is affected by the requirement for everyone to be digital in the way they communicate with each other these days. But anyway, Vera and Maxim will be presenting together. Vera is the Financial Planning Analysis Director at Amway, Financial Director Europe and Russia for Amway, and previously was CFO of the Russian market and is managing IT teams, business intelligence, and finance, the whole function. And Maxim currently occupies the position of FP&A Manager for Europe and Russia. I believe they're both based in Munich, so they manage the region from Munich and work together. And we're very happy to have them here. So I will give the floor over to the two of you. So we'll see your slides presented. Yes, excellent. So we're ready to go. Thank you in advance.
Thank you, Robert. So let me start. As Robert mentioned, we are working for a direct seller company. So Maxim, if you go to the next slide, I wanted to say maybe like just 2 seconds on Amway. What's Amway? So it's the biggest direct seller in the world. So one of the 30 largest companies in US, operating in most countries. And our playing field is in nutrition, beauty, and home products. We sell through independent distributors, and I can make actually a few comments how we are feeling during this pandemic time. And as you know, there are some key trends like digitalization now, so affecting most of the companies. Also, health component is very important. And both of those are actually very much applicable to us because we're moving to the digital platforms and to their trade digitally. So finding our customers through social networking, for example, through communities. And also our biggest product line is in nutrition. So it's called Nutrilite. So it's vitamins and supplements. So also very relevant. And on top of that, during pandemic, of course, people unfortunately are very much affected through not so good career perspectives, and some of them are losing jobs, some of them are on temporary leaves, and our company actually gives the opportunity for side income, and that helps also. So as a result, we actually are growing during this time. So overall, like a positive momentum for us, also to build our base around health and nutrition. But today I wanted to talk about how to set up a FP&A function globally. So our idea about that thing. So Maxim, if you go to the next slide, actually, here's the summary of what we plan to cover together. So the first was the vision around the FP&A organization, financial planning and analysis, and how to build it together with center of expertise. So what's the role of center of expertise in this setup? And what could be the potential benefits? So why it's actually bringing value to the corporate, to the organization? And what are also the success factors on this journey? So we go through the transformation. What are the key factors to have in mind? And for us, what's important also that we are almost completed this journey. So Amway was building this FP&A organization over the last 2 years, starting at the beginning of 2019. And we are almost there. And already, I would say, starting to benefit from this setup. So in terms of where we are located, our headquarters are located in US, in state Michigan. We are sitting in Munich, but we are the market organization for Europe, Russia, and Australia, actually. And we have our business services organization located in Krakow, as many corporates in Europe and also across the world. So Krakow, very popular. And also in Krakow, we have this FP&A center of expertise, so like together in the same premises. So if you go to the next slide, I would like first to talk about FP&A organization. So what's the vision behind this new setup? So why we think it makes sense. So on the left-hand side of this slide, you see generally the main components of our financial planning and analysis organization. And as you see, in the center of the whole organization is market commercial finance. And market commercial finance actually has the widest spread across geographies, so it is present in all our major markets and is working with business partners. Yeah, so they are working and focusing on growth. Together, they are working with functional FP&A and enterprise FP&A. So it's like, I would say, two parts of the same organization working centrally for the whole corporate, for the whole company, and really supporting insights around innovation, go-to-market strategies, and long-term planning. So these are centralized organizations, like head office related, and working with market commercial finance to provide guidance. And then behind these organizations, we have the center of expertise supporting actually all these organizations together. So they are providing integrated solutions and standardized solutions to raise efficiency and effectiveness of all these three components on top. And that serves as a support for market and enterprise finance teams for analytical and reporting capabilities. In this setup, actually, commercial market finance plays the key issue integrator role. So market finance and market FP&A is connecting center of expertise, enterprise FP&A, functional FP&A together to provide the holistic picture to the business partners. So if you move to the next slide, here, what actually the idea behind? So what's overall is the goal of this setup? And the goal is, again, to enable markets, like, for example, Europe, Russia organization, our Asian markets, to focus on growth and business support, really how we can grow further top line, how we be more efficient with our investments, with our spend related to further development of our footprint in these markets, and we would like these organizations to be lean, very efficient, and spend less time on operational planning and stakeholder reporting. And that, of course, all organizations are coming from the stage when they start from mostly reporting backwards, and everybody wants to provide further in the future more insights. Yeah, so look in the future, in the forecasting, in the projections, a rolling forecast. And so for that, you need time, you need resources, but you want also to stay lean. And so for that, we use the center of expertise globally. So if we move to the next slide, so what's actually the focus of market finance? Again, so that's provide insights and support of go-to-market partners. Yeah, so what are these partners? Like sales organization, marketing organization. Also now digital plays a big role, at least for our business, for many businesses, because most of the trade, most of the commerce is going into digital. So for us, we also have this organization supporting this direction. And we as finance planning and analysis function, we support these business partners as well across the globe, because we cannot standardize necessarily everything that belongs to digital. So this, and we call all these markets all these functions go-to-market functions, like selling, marketing, digital, these components. And at the same time, still there are methods that we can use also to standardize not just center of expertise processes and operations, but also this market finance. And that's standardized approach to business partnership model, self-service opportunities, so dashboards specifically targeted on our sales, marketing, business partners. Also, unified structures across markets, because the question of how to be lean across the globe at the end actually ends on the question what should be the blueprint organization in each of the markets, and how to control this blueprint organization, how to control it not to grow together with the business to, I would say, to unmanageable size. So how really to stay lean. And for that, it's very helpful also to standardize how overall the structure should look like in an ideal case. So that actually we show on the next slide. So like this blueprint organization for middle size regional market. So it can be, of course, a little bit bigger if you have a huge operations, or even smaller in case when the market is very like one of the smaller ones. And so here we have this market finance lead, and behind business partners for marketing, digital sales organization, and some local reporting for the management team. And that means not a standard reporting, but more ad hoc reporting, and also customized reporting based on the needs of the particular team, the particular period in time. So it's not the same slides every time, but rather something really very much targeted to the needs of this moment. So this is the organization that sits in the market, and as you know, we are global, big company. Still, we have a very lean organization. We don't have anybody else in finance in the markets, because the operational components are in global business services, together with treasury, tax, and other components. And FP&A, commercial market finance, is the only organization that stays in the market. So if you go to the next slide, now we talk a little bit about the role of center of expertise. So that's one global center of expertise located in our case in Krakow. And what do they provide? So first of all, of course, standardized planning and reporting. Yeah, so they have consistent reporting across all markets on a monthly basis, on a quarterly basis, also planning models, how we really organize rolling forecasts and plannings and projections. So that all sits in the center of excellence. And for example, when reports are issued, then they do of course talk to the markets to have this holistic picture and together work on the commentaries. But at the end, this is the body that provides this reporting. Then we have centralized activities requiring specific skill sets. So, for example, some technical knowledge around Excel modeling or Excel functioning, and that also is done in Center of Excellence. So they drive autonomy and eliminate duplication between Center of Excellence, market, and expertise teams. So we constantly review, and I wouldn't say constantly but periodically review whether we not starting to produce similar reports in the markets compared to COE, and whether we should drop them and move to COE, because that's actually the place where they should be produced. And if COE is not producing to the needs, then maybe something should be adjusted there rather than to produce another report in the market. And that's also an important component, because the needs start kind of tend to change, and COE should really stay agile and connected to these needs, and that can be only done when they have a really good communication to the market FP&A teams. And also, Center of Expertise is a primary contact for back office functions, and these functions such as finance, legal, HR, so all these functions are supported from Center of Expertise directly and coordinated centrally also through market finance FP&A without involvement of the market. So it's fully centralized, because they are not focused on growth and investment opportunities. They are more like supporting the business. So Maxim, if you go to the next slide, Then we see here actually roughly the structure, how you can structure center of expertise, at least how we have done it in our case. So we have a head of center of expertise. It's a global role because it's a global center. And below the head, we have three sub-teams. So one team is back office function support. The second is planning and reporting. And the third one is dealing with portfolio and pricing components across the globe. So here is important to reflect that it's not just planning and reporting, so not just these standardized activities, but also actually business partnership for supporting functions, so like finance, HR, and so forth. Mainly it is done through dashboards and standardized self-service solutions, but also working directly with the functional leads globally. So that's this sub-team, and then we have sub-team working across the globe for portfolio and pricing issues. Yeah, so like, for example, product cost budgets, unit SKU level analysis, transfer prices calculation, pricing scenarios. So this is also a centralized expertise that we keep in the center of expertise. Yeah, so fair enough. So if we move to the next slide. So the key benefits I already mentioned, but just to reiterate, consistency first of all. So we have consistent processes across the globe, consistent reporting, and what's also interesting that, as usual, there used to be the units who were doing much better than the others in terms of really more advanced solutions, analytical approaches, investment analysis. And some units, just due to the smaller size, couldn't afford such a level of expertise and analytic in their case. Now, when we standardize it in center of expertise, they're actually getting at least the same basic services in terms of reporting, in terms of monthly analysis, approach to projection and budgeting, because we use the best examples across the globe and then apply them across to all units. Then FP&A community have a common agenda, KPIs and language, so also how to present data, how to talk to executives. And that's important because then we all bring the same look and feel presentations and decks, and globally and at headquarters is much easier than to operate across the globe. We share best practices much faster because we are all interconnected through the center of expertise. Indeed, there are cost savings because we don't have this extended additional expertise in the markets, like, for example, pricing, dealing with support functions, additional reporting, that's all centralized. And so we have cost savings and wage arbitrage in many cases. And then we have, of course, COE co-located together with our Global Business Solutions Center. So, for example, this is a shared service center that provides services to finance, HR, and so forth. And there is a lot of integration between, for example, what Center of Excellence is doing in terms of reporting and analysis and identification, for example, of some inconsistencies, problems with reconciliation. So they work directly with our colleagues in controllership who are located in GBS. And also we have an additional opportunity for talent progression from GBS because analytical team is interesting, opportunity to, for example, more advanced accountants, and so they are considered for the roles in the Center of Excellence. So that's also very good agenda for GBS because there they need to have these career opportunities to stay and to reduce attrition. And for us, it's important that we keep people longer and give them chances to develop further. And so that Center of Expertise really helps them. So, and my last slide is, Maxim, if you move to the next slide, is like key success factors. So how really to make this journey successful, transition from the old setup, from the more like historical approach to FP&A to this new one. First of all, is clear vision and commitment from finance leadership. So everybody should share the same view and really have commitment and even patience and belief that at some point we will be there and it will be efficient, because at the beginning the journey is always rough and it's messy, and you need to somehow to have enough patience to overcome this period. And so commitment is very important. Then you need really to have a very highly motivated and skilled center of expertise team. Fortunately, when we started the journey, we already had a great FP&A team in Krakow, and we could use it as a base to really form our global center of expertise. And then we trained also additional people, relocated people there. So really the people should be the best ones working there. We need to have one team mentality, and that's very important that we do not have the silo between center of expertise, market, and enterprise FP&A team. So we have common vision, we have common meetings, so we know each other very well and work together. So that's important, so that we can share immediately some disconnects or issues that we want to improve. Then we need really to make sure we provide career opportunities for people, allow to swap roles, to move to center of expertise and back, so that it's really not a closed team, but rather open to all the finance community across the globe, and promote active exchange between center of excellence, center of expertise, market, and enterprise team. So that's also extremely important. As I said, like stay agile and continue fine-tuning reporting and projections approach, so that you really staying very close to the latest strategic direction and not providing outdated data or outdated reports. So they are really up to date and focused on what's needed. So that's it from my side, and now I would like to give the stage to Maxim, and he will talk a little bit how we were actually implementing the Center of Excellence, because he took an active role in this process.
All right. Thank you, Vera, and hello, everyone. Yeah, Vera just gave an overview of our vision, and I would like to share with you our key takeaways and learnings from this Center of Expertise and Implementation journey. Just a couple of slides. So first one, how to ensure a successful transition to Center of Expertise. So three main components to take into account. First is a project team. Second, change management. And third, alignment and feedback. So when it comes to project team, what we found helpful is that to have a dedicated project manager who will help to go through the significant change, drive structure, keep timeline, follow up on open items. To have a team of experienced professionals who have strong vision and can design and critically assess the processes. So even if process was done last 20 years, is it relevant now in terms of scope, timing, frequency, and level of details? And as a COE, serve both HQ, corporate, and also markets. And it's also important and helpful to have a representative from both sides in this project team. So when it comes to change management, helpful is to prepare detailed timeline of transfer of activities. It's a big change, at least in our case, and keep structure is important. Really track progress. Also agree split of responsibilities between Center of Expertise and markets to avoid confusion, duplication of work, as Vera just mentioned, and also it helps to define a Center of Expertise structure as well. When you have a clear understanding what workload will go to center of expertise, so you can build structure accordingly from the beginning. And also important to agree service level expectations and develop communication plan for stakeholders within and outside finance. As Vera also mentioned, it's a journey. And when it comes to alignment and feedback, important is to align requirements and deadlines to center of excellence capabilities, especially at the beginning when structure is new, and to deliver positive first experience. Kind of, it's always a good starting point, and also kind of what we found helpful to really look and avoid redundant reporting and maybe which was inherited from the past, and really avoid parallel work streams, even to really align what's needed for the market, and through regular feedback, really. If some center of expertise work may be needed to really adjust the course. Our key learnings from center of expertise implementation. So first of all, it's not shouldn't be lift and shift, but it should be a critical revision of each processes during due diligence sessions. For example, is it process relevant still and needed, and why? Is a report needed, and to whom? And consider materiality, frequency, market categorization. Also, maybe for big market it's important report, but maybe for small it's not so much relevant. Also ensure that knowledge is not lost during this transition. Very important. And a couple of key points here. First is prioritize transition of critical processes from impacted employees, and also consider offering relocation option to center of expertise for qualified employees. And when transition is announced, move fast. There's also our learning. First of all, for example, design center of expertise structure before the announcement, because after announcement, the work might be a little bit paralyzed, or let's say affected, not so productive, because people are waiting what's going to happen, and so on. Proactively, it was also one strategy which really proved very successful for us. It's to proactively approach high-performing employees across finance organization when recruiting for center of expertise. And basically, what Vera mentioned in her parts, that we for this FP&A role, we really try to find the most capable and best people. So it's sometimes it's just good to approach, especially if you know them already from existing organization. And of course, keep motivation through regular communication and explaining opportunities. It's not happening overnight, so it's a little bit a journey. It's important to have a conversation constantly. And next, I would like to share a couple of examples and our approach. And our approach is the following, as Vera already mentioned, just want to reiterate. So standardization and self-service for the functions not directly related to strategy, and maximize FP&A, market FP&A support for the top line and go-to-market functions. On this example, for example, we just have a couple of reports. Of course, numbers are not real, but just to give you a little bit overview. It's a monthly market financial performance update, for example, profitability, expenditures. And as an idea, how we work is the center of expertise provides standard reporting, which is basically standard. Our drivers more or less the same. Then market FP&A support with a deeper insights, and center of expertise build knowledge. And this basically cycle continue and improving. On a second example, it's about standard self-service dashboard for so-called support functions such as finance and HR. And practically, there is not much usually discretionary spend on those functions, and FP&A support can be lighter, but still sufficient in comparison, for example, to selling and marketing, so-called go-to-market functions. So, and here, for example, we develop standard, center of expertise develop standard monthly dashboard where department head can see cost versus plan by sub-departments and by cost type. So it's in most cases it's sufficient. And also there is a support with a deep dive, and market head even can go one level deeper, and if there are any issues. but usually in such functions, it's usually all on track. We just need to check. And as a conclusion, what we would like to summarize that center of expertise is not about offshoring of existing activities and processes to lower cost location, but about delivering optimal solution from central resource pools to reduce complexity and optimize and improve customer service. So that's actually end of our presentation, and now we are ready and open up for any questions or comments from the audience.
Please feel free to raise your hand if you would like to directly ask your question to the speakers, or you can type your question, or even make a chat, and we will respond accordingly to your question. And we definitely, we have a first question here from Irina Kutlu from ERG Natural Resources, who I will bring on stage.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Vera and Maxim, for the presentation. I really liked the South Park picture on FP&A side. And I have a question. So, Vera, you mentioned that you periodically review reports for duplication between markets and center of expertise. Could you please share your experience? How do you do this? So what is the process behind it?
So for us, thank you for the question, first of all. Yeah. The key here in this setup is generally this one team mentality. So we are working with a center of expertise, not like an outside provider of certain services, but rather an extension of our team. And we know people very well. We were setting up together the center of expertise. So, for example, if you have a need to reconsider a monthly report, we just simply approach them, have a call, and agree maybe these are the changing needs. What do you think of applying it globally? Then we might connect to some other global market teams across the globe and agree that that's the change. So like really agile approach. So nothing that formal, I would say. Maxim, do you agree?
Yes, I would say, yeah, just through constant communication and really open feedback and alignment. Right? If something doesn't work, we don't need to create local parallel process. We just have to say, okay, it's really not sufficient, and basically discuss what would help for us. Yeah, it's really just through regular feedback loop, and yeah, this is what works for us.
Okay, thank you very much.
Welcome.
There's actually a chat message that just came through from Marcel from Vanderland. Can you tell a bit more about the required changes in the IT landscape? Did you have to make many changes, or were these set up to facilitate?
Maxim, do you want to take this one?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, from FP&A side, we didn't have any IT changes. Basically, we just set up a team, and like we had a little bit maybe advantage that we didn't set up a center of expertise completely from scratch. We already had a global solution center in Krakow. We had the office, and we just basically expand this office, just hiring more people or providing opportunities in FP&A team for existing employee from finance community, from accountant who really wanted to develop. So for us, yeah, it was a little bit maybe not luck, but I would say advantage that we not building from scratch completely. It already was existing office, quite big, because it was already finance, HR operations there, even IT support. So it was established office. We just expand this office.
But in terms of the platforms, we didn't use anything new. So we are still considering whether to maybe switch platform to one of these more global providers of budgeting platforms like Anaplan, for example. But at the moment, we are just using Excel, SmartViews, and connecting to our ERP systems like Oracle So I would say the key here in this solution is not IT platform, but rather the process change. Yeah, so how you make this change management and the different mentality that actually you can get your service not locally, but also from somewhere else. And that's a mindset shift to many CFOs in our organization that used to control everything, yeah, locally. And now they actually are getting partly the services for their market from elsewhere, with their pros and cons, standardization, but also, of course, a little bit more difficult approach in terms of change. Yeah, so you need, of course, to agree the change so that it goes globally, not just for your market.
We have, okay, thank you. And so we have just enough time maybe for one more question if someone wants to raise their hand, or if they want to type a question either in the chat or in the questions button. Feel free to ask this question. I know you mentioned during your presentation that you were expanding your center of excellence to other countries globally. Is there any particular country that has been a bigger challenge than others?
I would say it's more challenging always when you have a bigger market where they already had a strong team. Yeah, so for them it's less interesting to join, and it's more about like efficiency because they have a smaller structure at the end. But for smaller markets, they're directly starting to benefit because they just didn't have this expertise before. So yeah, so that's more about the size of the market. And then, as Maxim mentioned, the earlier you prove that you are bringing value, the easier is kind of this conviction process.
And I think the only other question I may have, and you partially addressed this in the beginning, is just how this has all been affected by the pandemic. Do you think the Center of Excellence model actually is robust enough because it's centralized and it allows for digital communications that it actually sustains well in challenging environment like this, or did you have to make a lot of adjustment?
No. That's actually a good question. But it was actually pretty amazing to observe that our whole global business service center, it was working from home many months, yeah, and it was fine. So we have excellent premises, like new facilities in Krakow, but we are using them maybe 20% now because of pandemics, and still it's working pretty smooth. So we don't have any problems because of that.
Excellent. I would like to thank you both for presenting, Vera and Maxim. Great presentation. We have 15 minutes, or rather we have a 30-minute coffee break starting right now. If anyone didn't get a chance to ask your question, or you prefer to ask it privately in the virtual lounge, that's where we're all going to go in the next few moments. From 11:30 to 12, we'll be doing our first coffee break. And so I would like to structure this a little bit. When we go in the next few moments to the lounge, I would like to ask everyone to pick a chair at a table. There's about 33 of us, so I would like to limit it to 4 people per table if possible. So if you see an empty table, please go there and join a table. I would like each attendee to take 2 minutes to introduce yourself. What is your role? What are your main finance challenges? What are the challenges you have in finance function that you would like to gain help from a community like this to benefit from? That's what I'd like you to discuss. And then after each introduction is complete, I'd like you to change to another table. So that way, within 30 minutes, you will have met a lot of people. And I hope that will help break the ice so everyone gets a chance to meet each other. So with that said, thank you again for your presentation. Thank you. Let me already share my thumbs up from the emoticons here, and I would say, as on behalf of the audience, appreciate it very much. Thank you. I applaud your session, and we see you now and everyone in the lounge, and we reconvene for the next session at noon. Thank you again.
Thank you, Robert, and all for attention.
Thank you.